We will also be talking with an author who has written a book specifically for disaster survivors. His insight and advice coming up. You are watching Wake Up San Diego. As the weather begins to cool off and as people begin to get back in their homes, a lot of people are beginning to ask questions about what they can do now. So we are joined by Sean Scott. He is the author of a book called The Red Guide to Recovery, the Resource Handbook for Disaster Survivors. Sean, thank you for being with us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
And what is the biggest question that you get from people who are beginning to deal with the aftermath of a disaster themselves?
Well, it's usually the same. The question is, what do I do now? And that is a loaded question with so many steps that the recovery process entails that it's just once the first responders leave the scene, it's the beginning of, for many, it's the beginning of a nightmare if they don't know what to do.
So specifically with a wildfire, what piece of advice would you give someone who's coming home maybe today for the first time, not knowing what they're facing?
Don't sign anything with anybody. People are going to be approached by all sorts of individuals looking to capitalize off the misfortune of those who have lost everything. You know, contractors and different people who are looking to generate business as a result of this disaster, and they come from all over.
And Sean, it's important that you brought that up. I just talked with the district attorney, Bonnie Dumanis, yesterday about this very thing, and she said the same thing. She said there are so many people who are willing to go in there and sort of prey on people in their most vulnerable time. How does someone know whether someone is legit or not?
Well, that's the whole thing why it's critical that people do their homework. If you are in a hurry to get your house rebuilt and you just willy-nilly sign a contract with somebody that you haven't even taken the time to check the Better Business Bureau, check references, thoroughly investigate who you're dealing with, you can easily evolve from a disaster survivor into a disaster victim just simply by one signature.
So even though people are feeling this stress of they want to clean up their house or they want to rebuild their home, don't rush those decisions, right?
Never.
And your book, this disaster recovery guide for people who have survived these things, this is actually sanctioned by firefighters, by emergency officials all across the state, right?
Yes, for San Diego County, it was originally developed through the support of the San Diego County Office of Emergency Services. Supervisor Bill Horn was involved, the American Red Cross, the San Diego County Fire Chiefs Association, and SDG&E, and there's other partners who joined in, realizing that there was this tremendous need to provide a resource to families and individuals who've lost everything to help them navigate the recovery process. And the book is filled with information, pertinent points that helps you walk down that road.
Very good. So if someone is interested, how can they get their hands on a copy of your book?
Disaster survivors can pretty much go to any fire station, and they most likely will have copies available for them to get. If you're not a disaster survivor and you just want the book as a preparedness tool, you can get it on my website, and it's $19.95.
Very good. Sean, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Great insight. We appreciate it. Yeah. And just one last reminder to everyone, please don't rush into signing a contract or giving money to anyone who is approaching you in this very difficult time.
Yes.
Sean, thank you so much.